What's going on, everybody? Andy here, back with another video. Welcome to Bliss Cards, and today I'm starting a new initiative. This, if you've been around the channel for a while, I've been trying to post more regularly, and so I've decided to kind of lower the production value just a little bit and try harder just to show my process. So it's late in 2025 here. Finally, I'm done with work for the semester and just got back from the gym, and am in the middle of launching kind of a new initiative for next year where I've continued to narrow down exactly what I want to be chasing in the card community. And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Prizm. I think it's kind of like the tops of the last era. Of course, that's coming to an end here as licensing changes. And so I've been giving a lot of thought to what cards I'd like to have looking back on this era. And I'm a big fan of Baseball Collector. If you guys know his YouTube channel, shout out over there to Mike. And if you know, he's doing that 4-decade Hall of Fame chase through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s for baseball cards, where he basically slabs up every Hall of Fame player and manager over in those 4 decades of baseball cards. But back in those decades, of course, there were no parallels, there were minimal to no inserts. And so the question remains, like, what does that look like for basketball? And what does that look like for basketball in the 2000s and beyond, especially in the parallel era where, Panini went absolutely crazy with the parallels. So I'm not a big fan of the way the base cards look in those sets. I'm kind of a refractor era person from the 90s, and I think that the silver parallel in those Prizm sets is kind of the modern day equivalent of the card that, at least that I think really hits the mark there. I think it's appealing to the eye. It's generally affordable, but is elevated from the base card in an era where people are basically throwing base cards away. No one is really collecting sets, generally speaking, anymore, at least not the way that they did in the 90s at large. So today I'm going to be checklisting. I'm interested in putting together a checklist of 2012 to 2025 Prizm, and I'm looking for 2 cards, maybe 3 to 4 cards. One is the silver parallel for each Hall of Famer or future Hall of Famer. And then the second primary card would be their Prizm color match Prizm. All of this is in the Panini Prizm set, but I'm especially looking for the color match of the Prizm parallel, meaning no fast breaks, no discos, no waves, no sparkles, no ice, no animal prints, just the straight color Prizm of the color match of that player, which could be 1 or 2 colors. And then, of course, down the road, I would love to have the gold out of 10 for these players, but that's going to be out of my budget for a very long time. So today we're going to hop over to Notion. If you guys, I've never really introduced Notion here on the page, but I use it a ton for everything in my life. And I'm going to see if we can get over there, and we're just going to do some checklisting. So let's see if I can get this configuration worked out, and we are going to learn in real time. And then as I get better at this will get faster and smoother moving forward. So thank you for bearing with me today. So let's see if we can figure out. I just need to remember how to do this here. So give me 1 second. Okay, I think that does it there. You guys should be able to see now my collecting dashboard here. So I'm going to make this bigger so that I can see exactly what's going on. Looks like audio is going out great, so away we go. So we're going to be building on this dashboard a lot moving forward, but today we are going to be working down here in the Hall of Fame sets. And before I can even do that, I actually need to get a clean list of Hall of Fame and star players. So we're going to go to the second board. This is an old database that I made. That is not totally relevant to what we're doing today, but it's a great starting point where I can just build this Hall of Fame table that I want. So we're going to start with the NBA Hall of Fame current players as opposed to coaches. And let's see if we can get this rolling here. So if you're new to Notion, this is maybe going to look like some wizardry. If you guys are interested, someday down the road, I could give you a walkthrough here. I do not want to see, I can never remember where this is. Layout, table, show the icon. I don't want that. There, those icons over there just went away. And now we need to add some properties here. So so we're going to do that. And what do I have in here? Must have. Yeah, these need to change. So I've got the teams linked already and the league, which looks up from the team. So that's really cool. But we're going to want the Hall of Fame induction year and playing year. So rookie year and probably a retirement year so that we can get clear on who we're chasing. So there's that. And then I think we're just going to reuse this and instead I'm going to just create some new things here and we're going to group these by tier. I'm going to change this to status and move it over. And let's find a guy who is currently in the Hall of Fame. So let's add Michael Jordan. Bulls. It's going to get tricky when we have some of these guys like Paul George or something. It's like it's played for so many teams. Okay. So he is in the Hall of Fame. So we're going to want this. Like I said, these categories are old for a different project, but I think this will save us some time because I already have some players in here. Okay, so I'm going to go over now to my browser and we are going to take a look at a list of Hall of Fame members so that hopefully wow, this is interesting. I'm on hoophall.com. Let me bring this over. You guys should now be able to see this. And I think what we'll do is we'll go back and forth this way. And this way we can see what we're dealing with here. And then if I make this window a little smaller, now you guys can follow along with me. Okay, so I think I can look. We don't want coaches. And I'm just going to do the NBA. Hey, Willow. For now. Excuse me. So let's go with 2025. Hit search. See what happens. So once we get this made, we had 5 players in Sue Bird, Carmelo, Sylvia Fowles. I'm excited to learn more about the W. I know about Maya and Sue, but I'm actually not familiar with Sylvia Fowles. Is that Dwight Howard? Wow. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to pull this over here and let's start adding. So we want to change the order of these groups so that the Hall of Fame's on top. These are people who are in. Sue Bird. I think if I hold, yes. Carmelo Anthony. Maya Moore. Who was that? Dwight Howard. It's cool. And then who was this last person? Sylvia Fowles. I have to learn about her. I don't know much about her. Sylvia Fowles. Okay, so they were all inducted in 2025. So if I go here, I can drag this down. Boom. That's looking good. And that just gets us a current list. Now, let's just keep going backwards. And away we go, gang. This is the beauty of collecting. All the grind. I just thought I'd show this process. And we're just going to start turning the camera on. I love some of my favorite YouTubers. The production value is super low, and they just really stay focused on the collecting. And so I thought I would like to see more of that out there. So, okay, we've got players. I'm going to pull this over so I can see. This is crazy. Chauncey Billups right before all that stuff just went down. It's Carter. That's cool. It's one of my favorites. So we are recording on December of 2023, December 23rd of 2025. Sorry, trying to do too many things at once here. And I'll show you guys some really cool things that Notion can do once we get this all up and rolling with our checklists. Dick Barnett, not familiar with him. So, but before we do that, we got to get Michael Cooper. We have to have a list of everybody that's in the hall, which will help just clarify, I think, some things. So, Walter Davis, 24. And then who's that? Michelle Timms. She looks familiar to me. Okay. Moving along to 2023 inductees. If you guys are out there, please drop a comment. Really enjoy making this YouTube stuff. All right, cool. Dwayne Wade, Tony Parker, Pau Gasol, Becky Hammond, and Dirk. Wow, what a class. Dwayne Wade, 2023. Tony Parker, 2023. It's probably a faster way to do this, but Becky Hammond made it as a player. That's really cool. I just know her as the coach. So, and okay. Did I spell that right? Yep. Wow, what a year. Enjoying this already. This is really, really cool. So, okay, wow, we got a lot of people here. Tim Hardaway. some older players. The only one I know is Manu and Hardaway on that one. So put him in. And Albert Pullins. So I thought I'd do this on a stream so that you guys could actually see how I'm attacking this in case you're interested in doing something yourself. You know, nobody ever shows you how to make the checklists. And of course, this is just the back end of how we're going to make our checklists. You'll see on future episodes where we're going with all this. So stay tuned. Lou Hudson. What I need next is the most reliable source of who might be making the Hall of Fame moving forward, because we're going to be doing some work with modern day sets, and that's going to become a little tricky. So where do we make that cut for who we're picking up and who we're not? Would love to know if anybody has ideas there. This is, who was it? I want to make sure I'm spelling these right. A lot of people made it in 2022. So this is going to be cool. It's going to make me certainly a more knowledgeable fan of the game, which is wonderful. And I think we are in good shape there. All heights, positions, cities, countries. All right. Yeah, we're just doing players for now. Okay, we got Chris Bosh there. And Bob Dandridge. Dandridge? I don't know how to say that. Just Yolanda Griffith. Clarence Jenkins. So some of these are not going to be super relevant because there's Tony Kukoc. We're doing playing years only, and we're starting with modern day sets. But once we get whoops, I messed that up. Handle on that, we'll be looking at potentially sliding backwards, and that's where some of these others will help. Paul Pierce. I know him. Ben Wallace. That one surprises me a little bit. Same with Weber. I don't remember him having like an unbelievable NBA career, so want to kind of get to know the stats a little bit better there. Okay. Back to 2020 inductees. Kobe. Wow, look at that class. Bryant. Tim Duncan. Tamika Catchings. Cool. What a year. Some of these years are like unbelievable, and then others seem a little more, I don't know, not random, but like look at how many people. And they seem to dip way back into the past. Just interesting. Okay, who's this? Vlade. Grew up watching him. I've used Sydney on 2K before, I believe. Yeah. Teresa Witherspoon. Okay. One more. Okay. So, y'all are getting the idea here. Let's do at least a few more years for now. Nash, Kidd, Ray Allen, Grant Hill. Nice. Let me see if I can make this a little faster. This is 2018. It's going to make everything disappear. But now I only have to type Marie's Cheeks. There we go. Katie Smith. So I added a filter. So anything I'm adding automatically adds that year, and then I just changed the filter between years. Okay, who else do we have? Nash. Enjoying those Mind the Game podcasts with LeBron. Oral Washington. Junior high kids would get a kick out of that name. Aura. Okay, and we can go back and plug in a bunch of extra stuff about these folks. Let's make this orange for make it look like a basketball. Okay, so now we're going to just change this to 17, which will eliminate everybody. Switch this to 17. Search it up, as my daughter says. T-Mac. Never heard of these other guys. Man. This is great, though. George McGinnis. Spell that right? Yeah. Great. So when we're all done with this, we're going to have their playing years put in. And then we will be able to see, cross-reference this database with the checklists that we make, so that we can kind of filter out, if we're looking at 2016 Prizm, we can filter out anything with retirement year of this, I think. Anyway, it'll make it faster. I also think there's already some databases like trading card database that might just tell us who the Hall of Famers are in each class, which would be good. Wow. Some big ones in here. I swear I had. Why is that not doing that? There it is. It's period. Okay. Allen Iverson. What else here? Cheryl Swoops. Cumberland Posey. Whoopsie. Go away. Zelmo Beatty. Don't know if I'm saying that either. Wow. What an education. Making sure I'm not missing any comments. I know we don't have a ton of people here to begin with, but hopefully you guys will enjoy this as we keep going. (2015) players only. Matumbo and Lisa Leslie. Spencer Haywood. JoJo White. Okay. So the question is, how far back do we go for now to achieve our goal? Clifton, I think, whoopsie. Let's just delete that for a second. I think we're getting close to what we need for now. Matt Clifton. (2014), yeah. Make sure I get this. Alonzo Mourning. Mitch Richmond. Okay. Good. Just leave myself a little note there. And we should be good. Okay, so just out of curiosity, let's see what else was coming here. The glove. Gary Payton, Don Staley. Reggie Miller. Okay. Rodman. Sabonis. So maybe we'll come back in here another day and add these. Karl Malone. Pippen, and I think 09 was Jordan. Robinson, Stockton. Jeez. Yeah, it's like they have these like amazing years where a bunch of modern first ballot guys are in, and then it seems like the other years are where they maybe fill things out a little. Okay, so we'll learn more about that as we go. All right, so if I go now, how do I want to do this? The next thing we need to do is go here and go to that. And then we want to think about the PSA set registry, and these are going to be how are we going to do this? First, we have to add this. So we're going to add a template for a Basketball Hall of Fame set. We're going to open this as large as possible, make this bigger so y'all can see what we're doing here. So you can see all kinds of stuff here. Like I said, I'll explain this someday. So these are my single card master databases of the cards I want to go after. But for this, I think we want, the set. I think this all pretty much stays the same. I think it's close for now. We may edit that a little bit. So then we can do this. I got to think. So we're going to do, let's open this. And we want to do that. And we're going to call this 2024-25 Prizm Hall of Fame. So before we do this, I just realized we really need to go back to this database we just were in and attempt, take that filter back off, to find who might be for sure Hall of Famers. So 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame projections. Found some pretty good What is this? Hall of Fame probability. Yep. All these guys. So active. What is this? Probability is low on most of these guys. Wonder what makes that go higher. But we're going to say I saw a really good Reddit thread actually about this. Can I find this? Reddit. Where was that? Here we go. I thought this was interesting. I'm going to read this all, but we're just trying to get close for now. So the NBA 75th anniversary, I thought this was a good argument. Hang on, I'm going to get my sweatshirt. Yeah. Okay, so go away notifications. So I thought this was a good argument. Like if you've been put on the NBA 75th anniversary team, I think that's a safe bet that you're probably going to the Hall, right? Can we agree? So let's load these up. Hall of Fame lock, we'll call this, okay? So we got LeBron. Excuse me. Can you tell I type these names a lot? I don't think I have that one loaded. James Harden, Kawhi, Damian, Chris Paul, and Westbrook. Okay. And we're going to put Luka in there. 5 first team All NBAs. Let's see what they say. Joel Embiid. Um, 2 scoring titles, 7 All-Star game selections, and 3 straight top 2 MVP finishes. So they think he's pretty good for that. I thought that was interesting. Paul George, 6-time All NBA. Nine All-Star games equals Hall of Fame every time. Okay. Shea. NBA first team MVP, runner-up MVP, scoring champ, finals MVP. Wow. That's awesome. Draymond. Kyrie. I'm good with these. Nicole, Joker, Jason Tatum. It's really interesting to see what they say about Jaylen Brown. Okay. First options on, but no chip. So They're calling this tier 2. So let's put this here. We'll change this. And then we'll go like this. Now I got to do a little organizing. Find this guy. Go up here. Jimmy. DeMar DeRozan. Rudy Gobert because of the defense. Maybe Kevin Love. Yeah, these are interesting. Kyle Lowry. Clay because of all the rings. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Jaylen Brown. Devin Booker. Good with these names. Donovan Mitchell. And Cat. Love it. All right, future legends. Interesting. They've got them in a class of their own, y'all. Wemby. I think I put him there. We need to change this to tier 3. Along with nope, groups. Bring him up. Anthony Edwards. And then tier 4, this is where I think it gets a little more interesting. And I don't remember seeing there, Tyrese. Yeah, okay. So Al Horford. Trey Young. I gotta switch the tier. Paolo, they have above Tyrese. Cade above Tyrese. He just made the finals. Jalen Williams. That's super interesting to me. I'm going to add this, which I think is kind of cool. I got to fix this again on the groups. You go over here and you can drag them to organize them. Also, just, don't know. Let's see here. Yeah. So who's tier 4? Horford, Trey, Paolo. I think I already got Cade. Tier 4. Evan Mobley. And Jalen Williams. Okay. Then we've got tier 5. And tier 6. This is where it gets interesting. Tier 5, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese, Jaren Jackson, Maxey, Şengün, Wagner, Wagner, whatever, Cooper Flag, and then 6 is Drew. Bam, Pascal Siakam, LaMelo. I'm good leaving everybody on that list off. Chet is kind of interesting because of how well the team is playing. Yep, I think I don't need any of these. De'Aaron Fox, wow. It's pretty far down. Okay, so let's go ahead and add tier 5. We're going to stop there. So, which is 40% to 60%. I think that's safe enough for me. Gotta go back up here, I believe it is. There. Add these in. I like the 80 to 95. That's pretty high. How am I doing, y'all? Whoops. Return. Tier 2 was like very high. We'll call this tier 1. Boom. Okay, there we go. So, I think we got that. We just need to add the tier 5 folks. I like this list. I thought it got us the info we need for now. Not really here to start a war. Tyrese. I'm a little hot on Tyrese, I think. Halliburton, that is. Maxey. What is that? Haven't been using diacriticals on. Where's the umlaut for other people? But oh well. And Cooper Flag. I'm good making Bam and Drew the cutoff. So I like Drew and Bam quite a bit, but that's okay. Okay, so I mean Bam was amazing on the Olympic team, that is. Making sure everything's still good with the streaming. Again, kind of new to this. We're still getting, yep, we're good. Okay. All right, y'all. So now we've got our list of players who we would want to look at for current sets. Like these are the people we would want. So how am I going to we'll leave this here for reference. And then if we go over here and start checklisting. Okay, how are we going to do this? This is brand new. So filter. We want Steph out. Sport basketball year. This could be easy. I always use the first year. So 20. I hate how basketball has 2 years. It drives me crazy. And we also. And product is Prizm. Okay. So there's that. Now let's get a checklist for 2024-25 Prizm basketball checklist. Actually, let's go to trading card database. I know they have all this info for baseball. I'm almost sure they do for basketball. So if we go here, when we started, I was very hot. Now I'm getting cold. Basketball sets, major releases, Panini, Prizm, not Black, not Deca. Okay, there it is. So I'm pretty sure you can click here. Here's a little cheat code for y'all. And what does LGD stand for? Legend. So the problem is, like, these are non-playing year cards, so I'm setting the drawing a line in the sand, if you will, because I don't want hang on a sec. I don't want to collect non-playing year cards, so why is this not logging me into this website? Let's try this. What? Oh, that's why. Okay. All right, we're good now. We're back. So, hmm. Yeah, so the Hall of Famers is not going to help us because they're not currently, these are not playing your cards for any of the Hall of Famers. So, like, I don't need this Shaq card because he retired a long time ago. So that sucks. There was another website called, I forget the name of it, Check something. But now this is popping up all the time and I've never heard of it. And I'm wondering if they changed their name. So let's check this bucket list. So here's the base set. Oh my God. Y'all, look at this. This is Panini going out with a bang here. Um, so, um, with parallels on parallels. So, just realizing this is pointing a little far up. There we go. So we're staying away from everything except for true prism. So like this purple prism would be the one I would be after, as opposed to the purple pulsar. Now some of these, they're just cool and they're cheap, so I may grab them anyway. But purple ice, I am not a fan of ice stuff usually. Also, it's a little hard to pass up for me on the non-numbered white sparkle. That's a short print, but there's a white prism. I believe it was this year. That's really nice looking. This one, I like that one a lot too. And then there's a glitter one that's kind of silver, kind of a neutral color. I like that. But we'll see how we do here. So we need to look at the checklist, and what is the easiest way to do this? We just need to go through here, and then there's Devin Booker. So it's card number 8. So if I add this, it's going to go, okay, so I don't want to type this out in every time. So we're going to add a rule and say where the brand is Panini. And now that metadata will populate. And we're going to put, let's just do the, and sport is basketball, and we're going to get rid of that other one because these are all delete this. It's all tied up in there. And then I think we want to add just the silvers for each and we're going to make a new set registry project, even though this is not yet on the set registry. And we're going to call this 2024 Prizm Hall of Fame. Except it won't add there because I got to add it here first. 2024 Prizm Hall of Fame. Boom. And pull this up here. You can see I got a lot of projects going. So it's got to have that. So now they're all going to disappear. Let me take that out for a second. So there's Curry's Prism. So I think we want to add that in. I don't think there is a silver of that. LeBron, silver of that. We're going to skip the photo variation. You can see I've got the blue prism there. And I'm going to actually change this to say Hall of Fame silver. Just so that we... Oh, thank you. Thanks, Ellie. So, okay. There we go. So you guys can kind of see, maybe this is very confusing. I would understand if it is. And now we're going to add that filter back in. Boom. So this should get us, what that, not in there. And this needs to be, and we want to sort by card number. Going down. Okay, so and we're going to add this one more filter where the parallel is silver prism, which it will just add that in now. No serial numbers. So we should be good. So now as we add these, all that stuff, basketball, it will populate that it's part of this project. It will populate all those because we're filtering by that, and it will populate the parallel. There's no serial number needed or description because these are just base cards. And I got to think about that. Okay, so now we grind. So we can pull this over as reference. Let's see what my window wants to do here. Ooh, look at that. And we can just type in Devin Booker. Wish it would just make those not colored. And he's card number 8. It's not great. I don't like that those are all the same, but I got to think about that. Can I add this so I don't have to type it? I don't know if there's one for name. Wow, there is. 2024 Prizm Silver. Boom. So you can see this LeBron is part of my silver run that I'm trying to do just for LeBron. But now I'm kind of thinking about expanding it by starting with the latest year. So we got Booker. The problem is, how do I go through this and not miss somebody? Does that make sense? So we got Embiid, card 28. I don't have a name pre-selected in here for every single player, but these Hall of Famers, it seems like it makes sense. The more we do it, then the data will be consistent. Yeah, this is interesting. How many cards are in this set? Not bad. Okay, so Embiid was there. Was Cade on our list? Oops. He was. Don't know where the other instance of that. Why is it saying there's 2 instances? Okay, so we need Cade. So card 41. Cade Cunningham. And again, once I add these for the first time, I'll never have to do it again. It's harder than I thought it was going to be. Paul George. Card 50. Okay. So Derrick Rose, that would be non-playing year. Also, I don't think he made the Hall of Fame. We didn't see him on that list, but I didn't go all the way back. This is one I wonder about. Derek White made the Olympic team. And what did we do with Jalen Williams? Wow. Okay. I would not have said Jalen Williams has a better chance of making the Hall of Fame than John Morant when we started today. So, yeah, freezing all of a sudden. I don't know why. Okay, so Jalen Williams. Let's type him in. We're doing a lot of structural stuff today that in the future we can just get straight to this part. So that's really good. Grayson Allen, Lonzo Ball. Quickly. Trey. Where'd we land with him? I think he was out. Nope. He was in tier 4, which we're including for now. So, yeah, I don't like that those are going in colored. I'll fix that later. Giannis. How do I not have Giannis in here? Yeah. The list of players I've had in here are like kind of random just from a bunch of stuff I've done in the past. So it's fine. Okay. Was Sabonis? Yeah, I didn't think he made it. Luka, 89. So there I go, being inconsistent with my diacriticals again. Damian Lillard. Whoops. Oh boy, quite a few here. Pippen Jr. is throwing me off. I'm a Malik Monk fan. That distracted me. Maxi, I think, was tier 4, right? No, tier 5. What do we do, y'all? I feel like I want to put Halliburton in there. Bam was out. Heroes out. Halliburton would be out for now. And Edwards. I think I might put Halliburton in only. I could see a strong argument for Brunson. I don't know. I just like him. And it's fun to collect him. So I'll probably grab him. Also, he's cheap right now because he's injured. And so, and then Anthony Edwards. He's card 100. Okay. So you can see this is our list out of 24 Prizm. These are the players we're chasing. Starting to make sense? Okay. So Jalen Green, Tatum. Oh my gosh. Never have to do this part again either. Bogdan Bogdanović. Clay. I mean, the dude's got so many rings and is a elite 3-point shooter. I'm thinking he probably goes. Cam Kyrie, Mr. Shifty. Did they have him in tier 1 or 2? I mean, oh no, they had him in tier 1. I guess to me, like LeBron and Steph and Durant are like tier 0 then. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Memorizing all this as we go here. So we had Kyrie, Shea. Okay. I'm going to pause. So we need to add a reference, a relation. This one. I'm wondering if we even need the name because I think I want this to show up over there too. So if we go like this, also, what did Hall of Fame star players DB, and then that'll update this. So now this is linking. Ooh, tricky. Mm-hmm. So there's the Suns. And I'm going to get rid of this one, I think. You guys off? Okie dokie. Have fun. All right. Family is headed out for a while. Get rid of those that I had before. Okay, so you can see Booker over here on this. And now here, Book right there. And then what we can do is add a roll up, which pulls from there. We want the status. So see how this all starts to tie together? So then the question is, I actually don't need to look at this, but it will still add things we want. Change type, edit property. I don't want to see that, which I think I can take out here. Layout table, it's right here. Show page icon. Boom. Now, if I go over here, will that go away? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. I might need to refresh. No, it's still there. That kind of annoys me. It's a small thing. Okay, so so this is actually referencing another database that we just built and then rolling up that information for us. So then, like, if we only want to see the Devin Booker cards across all these, we can do that, which is great. For now, I'm going to double link it to this just random select column. I'm not ready to drop this just yet, but we may clean that up for efficiency moving forward. So now we're just going to tie this in. Okay. These guys should all be here already. Now the problem is I have a duplicate entry, it appears, on some of these, so we'll clean that up. Pistons. That rolls up to the NBA from a different, and then this one can go away. Okay. Paul George. Jalen Williams. Yep, have two of those. So it's going to take a minute to fix all these. Sorry. He's currently on the Thunder. Jason Williams. Okay, Trey. I think I'm going to end up with two of a bunch of these. Okay. Yeah. Never have to do any of this again on future videos, though. So that's really exciting. Hawks. Today is going to be a long stream. Making sure nobody's over here. Yep. We're good. Giannis. Bucks. Should have just. Actually, what I should do is, what is he, tier 1? Oops. In case I have anything else that was previously tied to these, I'm actually going to just delete this and change this to tier 1. Okay, great. Should have done that on the others, but oh well. Luke is going to be on there twice, yep. So some of these I already had an entry on that prior table. So we're just going to delete the one I just made a moment ago, and then we're going to change this. Great. Luke is done. Bear with me here. Okay. How did I not have Anthony Edwards in there? Weird. 3 Tatums. What a mess. Let's get this fixed. Tatum. There we go. Now, just one. Clay. Kyrie. 2 of those. Whoa, crap. Just got lost. Where am I? I was in here. Okay. Almost done. Shea has 2. But this is going to be great moving forward. a second. Why did it do that? Why is it showing 2 still? That's strange. Weird. Stuff. Okay. Now we're caught back up. So here's our run of Prizm from 24 so far. We were on Shea. Keep in mind, I already had LeBron and Steph. So I believe DeRozan was in there at 117. Like I said, this is kind of duplicate work with the name here. I gotta just think that through a little bit more. Jokic, 129. Okay, gotta go clean that up quick. Okay. There's that. And LeBron, we've got Draymond is 131. Yeah. Draymond. I think he was tier 1. Is that right? Did I mess that up just now? Pretty sure he was. Why is it doing that? Every once in a while it shows me 2. That's weird. It's like the first one didn't go away. Weird. LeBron's 130. Draymond 131. Chris Paul 132. Excuse me. Okay. Curry. Done with that. Mike Conley. Jaylen Brown 139. Glad when we don't have to do that anymore. Tier 2. What card was he? 139. Cat. Carl Anthony Towns 141. Oops. Okay. Wagner was out. Sharp was out. Darius Garland, Thompson, Mobley, Anunoby, Kuzma. We're good on those. Donovan Mitchell, 155. I like that this is rolling up the tiers because it helps me kind of memorize those. And then we can do videos in the future on if those things might change or who gets added or whatever. But I think it's going to be useful to have that. So enjoying seeing that just to kind of deepen my own knowledge, I guess, about it. Okay, 155 for Mitchell. Westbrook, 157. Boy, I can't wait to not have to do this part. This is annoying. I don't even know where he's playing this season. Oh, where did he go? I know last year he was on the Nuggets. Where did he get traded? I'm forgetting at the moment. So, Gobert. Jimmy. Got a ways to go still. But then we can step back. So when this is all done, we can step back and do some analysis of like, what are we actually looking at here? Because I like this idea, but we might find that maybe it's not as practical, or we want to limit certain things, or cut a category of or a tier. Just have to see. So we're using this year as the guinea pig. So Aaron Gordon, haven't seen him mentioned. Van Vliet, Wemby. Ugh. Didn't mean to do that. The problem is when you get into this, you kind of forget what you're looking at. I'm just like clicking buttons. Tier 3. Yeah, there's still a chance like Wemby goes down and, doesn't make the Hall. I see why he's tier 3 for sure. Okay. Where'd he go? 172. That was his second year card. James Harden, 181. Okay. That one was easy. Paolo, 183. He's definitely like not high on my list of people to grab, but so again, maybe we do this in a certain order so we're not just, like make sure we have the top tiers filled out first or something. Markkanen, Durant. There we go. I was just looking at this card last night. Got about 100 cards left to go on the checklist. But we have done so much work here today that will serve us in the future. Moving forward, all of this is going to just be easier and easier because we took the time to set this up. So that's good. Kawhi, 189. Next time we just jump straight in and we won't have to add any of these names. Yeah, a lot of things will be automated next time around, so that's good. Okay, that was Kawhi, Duncan, Levine. Horford, I think, was on the list. No. Was he like a borderline case? Yeah, I guess not. I didn't see him. Anthony Davis. That gets us through. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, it seems like every once in a while it doesn't recognize that. Okay, one more round. Şengün, Grady Dick, Kyle Lowry, Dylan Brooks. Brunson, I think we left off as a tier 5. These look like not as established folks, which is good for us. Stefan Castle, rookie. Connect. Yeah, I think these are all the rookies. Bronny, Rob Dillingham, and then what's this stuff? Second year? Nope. First year still, I think. Dirk Nowitzki. This is not playing years. Yeah, so this is like vets. Dwayne Wade, Rodman, Maravich, but these are not playing year cards for them, so we're going to skip them. And we're done. And then there's these really weird variations that are hard to get a hold of. Looks like we would need like all of these, so I'm going to skip that for now. Okay. So now the question is, how do we sum up Is there any way we could cross-reference things to see if we've missed someone? So I think we would want to go back here to this. We now have this popping up over here. So let's go to our Hall of Fame page. And theoretically, they should all have a silver tag there. See that? Because it is linking to that. These guys should not have any. Excuse me. Oh. Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry I missed. So that worked. And I was right about Al Horford. And then Evan Mobley. Okay, so let's go back and get those guys. Kevin Love. Is he in here? Whoa. He's not even in here. Maybe that's why. Lowry? Did Kevin Love finally retire? I don't think so. Lowry, 210. Okay. So we need to add him. Wow. Never would have guessed he would have been a tier 2 dude. Okay. Kevin Love. It's not on here. Tier 1 was done. Yep. We got to mark next to all those. That's done. That's done. Al Horford. Almost done. 193. What was I doing here? There. Okay, 193. Okay, so he should now have one. And then Mobley. 148. That's a little surprising to me, too. Uh-oh. Perfect timing here. Mobley. Boom. Don't know if we're going to want this ultimately or not, if we can just use this, but we'll see. As I've mentioned, okay, and then I'm skipping these guys on purpose, giving Halliburton the Bliss bias. Just out of fandom, not saying really anything about his case, just that I would kind of like to have him. Certainly would rather have Halliburton over like Paolo. And I don't know why someone would argue. I mean, Jalen Williams won a championship last year. I'd have to look at like all-star stuff, but same with Evan Mobley. I don't know. Cunningham's having a great year. He went first overall. But yeah. Okay. Again, this was a subjective thing that we were looking at to begin with. So now we've got our tier list that we're referencing, and now here we have our Prizm Silver metadata. So if we go over here, it's going to be, I'm going to have to redo this metadata for the checklist, the filters rather, because this is going to be like everything. But once we get it set, it'll be there forever. So let's delete this. Make an advanced filter. Sport is basketball. And brand is Panini. And product is Prizm. And year is 2024. And what else? Year, product, brand, sport, registry, parallel name. Registry. That. Parallel. Silver Prizm. So what this does is it makes sense. It makes sure that if we add anything over on this view, that everything's staying the same. I'm going to delete this actually. Okay. So shows us the project, shows us all these things, but we don't have the player name. So, see, I would rather have the player name in here and then not need that player category or the reference from the metadata. So I think I'm actually going to do that. It'll just take a second. Then we don't have to show any of this. And it makes the name of each of these records unique, which is just kind of nice. Otherwise, you just got all these records that look the same. Okay, so then once this is done, y'all, my computer's dying and we've been on for a while. Basically, the next thing we will do is start hunting these down. These would be the Prizm silvers, but then I want to double or duplicate this list, I think, and figure out the color matches as well, like I said. And I think putting that together could be a very, very cool collection that I'm pretty excited about. And one that would, I think, stand the test of time. So to get serious about it, it requires that I manage all this data, which seems a little crazy, but spreadsheets just weren't doing it anymore. So okay. So I think I will leave you there. I'm watching my neighbor try to load her dog in her car, and I have a way I could help her. So I'm going to stop there. But yeah, thanks a lot, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave me a comment. It would mean the world to me as I'm talking to thin air at the moment. Let me know what questions you have, what you think about these tiers, and I'll be on again very soon as we go to the next step. All right, take care.